good day. Welcome to Analogue Culture with DJ Ndo-C. Today I've got one of Vinyl Lifestyle's owners and pretty great DJ, if I can say. Um, Actually, let's just get into it just to find out everything about the UMNGOMEZULU. Pronounced right, ne?
Yeah, UMNGOMEZULU. Most they call me UMNGOMEZULU. But Sabawa's umehluko, like there's a difference between UMNGOMEZULU and UMNGOMEZULU. UMNGOMEZULU is an individual person. Ngomezulu, that's an ancestral clan name. You're calling my ancestors masuthi Mngomezulu because Konolubelo, Mfiso, or it's just a mix, So I always tell people with Mafagi flyer first, like just don't forget the you. Like you remember. Yeah, Umngomezulu. Yeah.
UMNGOMEZULU uyaphi kahle kahle?
Originally from KwaZulu-Natal, Engolezane. I'm based in Johannesburg. It's been almost 10 years since Jozi. I studied music and production, and I did some sound engineering. I focused more on post-production, and then I actually dropped out from film academy. I just couldn't do it, so I just did music and post-production.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where?
There's an institution called Academy of Sound Engineering. It's right next to SAPC, and then it's right next to SAPC, and then before that it was Soul Candy, Johannesburg. Yeah.
Nice. So in terms of production, recently there's a lot of stuff that you're pushing out now.
Yeah.
Do you have stuff that you? So basically, within the 10 years that you moved to Joburg, were you busy with the production and stuff?
I started with production, but I was too young there. Mosakali production, you have so many mistakes, and you're not actually proud of the material that you released back then, because and you were still learning. But I think 2010, that's when I dropped my first album ever as Deepland. I used to call myself Deepland before UMNGOMEZULU, up until I rebranded myself and introduced myself as UMNGOMEZULU. So
who's some of the artists you've worked with on past production and the current stuff that you're pushing now?
So far I've worked with, it's Ukarabo and China Chameleon. I have something with Radiactor Myth. He just dropped an album, Stay True, so we actually working on something, and I've just finished finalizing my project, which is up and coming. Maybe by next year February I'm gonna drop something sort of like my second EP as UMNGOMEZULU.
Nice. Now, as a wax lover, are you looking at pressing for some of the production that you put out there now?
Most definitely. My first EP, Through Deep Waters, I pressed it. I'm still waiting for copies to arrive in the country, by the way. It's been on delay due to this COVID-19 alive. But most definitely I'm planning on pressing almost everything and get release. Sometimes I won't press because I'm gonna be releasing on independent labels which are releasing digitally only. But if it's something of my own, it's gonna be on vinyl, of course.
Nice. The shop has done a whole lot of wonders.
And it has chowed a lot of cash. We've been going broke, jumping from one building to another.
I can imagine. I mean, vinyl is not cheap nowadays. It's truly expensive. Hey, while we're on that, before we move over to the shop, how big is your collection?
When you sell records, people believe they out the stuff because and I don't have a big collection. It's only 2 record packs that I have personal stuff, because most of my stuff in Skatsi, when we opened the Vinyl Lifestyle for Gala, I had to sell most of my records to start the business. So me and I know Mr. Plunkett, we sort of sacrificed some of our own collections because we had to pay for rent, we had to pay for shipping services, we had to, do everything on our own. So I sold a lot of stuff, and at that time, Mausakalu collects some records. You do not know your real sound that you really love.
Yeah.
Anything that sounds good when you're starting off, you just buy it.
Yeah,
Up
yeah.
until you realize, so petty pack with like 50 records, Mausi had daddy said to told because
Yeah, yeah.
it's
not
different vibes. Ngapa, you more soulful, ngapa tribal, you
Yeah.
just bought, and then that's when I started all over. And that's okay, let me just find myself. I'm gonna decide, this is my sound, this is what I wanna do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now with the shop running and you selling records, bringing in DJs from overseas, like how big have you ever considered going? For instance, have you figured going festival type, a vinyl only, or is the shop enough and authentic enough to keep that?
Most definitely, we want to go on that routine. You know, it's just that it's a bit of a challenge because it's very expensive, and at the same time you need, like when we talked about yesterday, Kumbula, when we had a conversation about getting support,
Yeah.
and that you don't really need to be this big short type of a guy who's got a big sack of cash.
Yeah.
We see when's a successful event. So we are planning on doing something a bit big, but we always starting off small. If you've noticed, Ishop, we've been jumping from one building to another. Like Sfigalana, I remember when we hosted Jimster.
Yeah.
There was like almost, I don't know how many people. There was no space, and the shop could only fit in like about 15 people inside.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, Joe, like that's when we need a bigger space, and then we moved to a rooftop. Must figure we rooftop. The rooftop was also too small. We moved to a different rooftop up until now. We are in a small bar. Yeah, so it's just these challenges that we are facing in terms of pushing and getting that market that we want to own, or shall I say share our love of music with.
How has that been in terms of jumping from one building to the other, in terms of politics, the industry, politics?
It's been hectic, I'm sure this is what even resident DJs face. When you go to a new club and it's empty, and you build it up as a resident DJ. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you create some sort of attraction for your followers. And when it starts picking up, and then the owners, they'll always start acting up. We will see, I don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
And then when you move out of that space, there's gonna be someone who's gonna jump in. Yeah, but DJs I face out these days. You would see, I'm a resident DJ, I'm getting paid, and then the club is now successful, and then the owner doesn't feel the need to pay me as a resident DJ. So manje sekuzongena into anezodlala for amabhiya or idlale for free.
Yeah.
And then it's a challenge. Like species here, siyakwepana, like ngena wena kuphuma mina, and igcina ingena balance, the whole thing. So yeah, it's been one of those similar situations.
Yeah. And then in terms of bookings, I mean, Josie's got a very, very large number of DJs, and I want to that have been pushing for quite some time now. In terms of rotation, where you play, how is the industry that side?
There's this thing called attraction.
Yeah.
It's actually a word, attraction. You need to create some sort of attraction for your followers. I cannot be you, you cannot be me.
Yeah.
At Josie, what I've noticed is that a lot of DJs, they want to be booked for playing one genre the same way that Ndo-C plays. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense for me, Uguti. I'm gonna be like Ndo-C. I'm gonna be like UMNGOMEZULU. I have to be myself and create some sort of attraction for my followers, Uguti. There's something unique about myself in terms of those bookings you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because these days, people don't just book you, Nje. It's either if you have a high IP, or you're gonna be booked by your friends, or you're gonna create your own bookings, which is the future these days.
Yeah.
You need to create your own bookings. You need to capitalize on attracting your market, and you need to sort of start your own events, man.
Yeah.
Yazi kubuhlungu mfethu, like when I log on Facebook mangithi ngiyangena ngibona ama-politics, like everyone is fighting. There are no bookings, you must charge this, do that, like just do your own thing so that uzoba ne-peace. I mean, look at the space, it's a nice space. You can host your own events, you can host your own DJs.
Yeah.
Awuna stress. Akekho umuntu ozolwa naye ukuthi angibhadalwanga ngenzeni nani nani. These days DJs, they need to get it right ukuthi okay, I'm a DJ, let me just face the facts ukuthi I need to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then I need to find my own way of being unique from everyone else, because it's pointless ukuthi ngizoya kwi-event and then all the DJs, they doing the same thing. You know how tiring it is. Like line up uthole ukuthi, unless if the event is more focused on that specific sound.
Yeah.
But if you just want to go on an event whereby you just want to explore, you know, it's important to have different DJs, different tastes in music and stuff. So yeah, ile on the bookings, we need to, the only solution mina that I can think of is to create your own sessions. That's why Vinyl Lifestyle, we decided ukuthi hi man, sikhathele lezi indaba lezi zokubukwa, and then sometimes you're not paid, sometimes, you know, let us just host DJs Tinda and find a business way to create a business for these DJs. Let us find the youngsters. That's why we also started connecting on DJs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we noticed, if you've noticed, the age group in terms of our record collection, I'm a Frotman majority.
Yeah.
And I'm a Frotman who started collecting back then. And then Amanye who always wanted to collect, and it's mostly people who are employed.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And most DJs, they're unemployed. We need to face the facts. We would see most DJs are unemployed. And then so I realized we would see who attend the youth more than Amakrotmani or Adlalama records.
Yeah.
So I want to know, let's just connect the CDJ, CDJ to accommodate, you know, the youngsters, because we cannot isolate them, because they are the future. Yeah. We always forget that, you know, the young guys, they are the future in terms of music, and they are watching everything lessons.
Yeah.
Our behavior on social media, the way we handle situations, they are watching. It's either you are decider when it's are you gonna inspire or are you gonna destroy?
Yeah.
It's up to you. So in terms of that question, Yakoyama bookings, let's just create and outsource ourselves. Yeah, bro.
You know, considering what you're saying now, in terms of create your own, basically book yourself in essence.
Book yourself, yeah.
When you're talking about book yourself, and you're also highlighting the rate of unemployment amongst the number of DJs that are looking for employment.
Yeah.
And then again, you've got nowadays people that can play on virtual DJ, and then they figure, I can play on virtual DJ, now I want to be a DJ, and they start doing DJing as, I mean, everybody loves music.
Everybody loves music.
Everybody loves music. Yeah. And then you find men that have decided, I want to be a DJ because I can play on virtual DJ. Let me just take this further. And then you find there's 105 DJs that are not really into the passion of music. They're just...
Okay. You need to understand, I'm a facts, Lana. I think we have it twisted, especially as a country. Not even as a country, all over. There's someone who is actually a fan of music.
Yeah.
The minute I say I am only playing in melodic house and I'm only a DJ of it up techno, you are more of a fan than a DJ, because you have decided to categorize yourself on one subgenre.
Yes.
And once you become a fan, you want to share your love of that specific genre with a certain group of people.
Right.
That makes you more of a fan than a DJ, because let's face the facts. In reality terms, a DJ is an entertainer who plays almost anything.
Yeah.
So the minute you say we categorize house and that specific subgenre we house, that makes you more of a fan. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Not in a wrong way. You need to understand this. In a positive way, of course you are a DJ, but you are more of a fan of a specific genre than becoming a DJ as such. So the minute ngithole laptop and I'm playing around with sounds, maybe sometimes I cannot afford to go to a DJ school or get someone ozongifundisa. Ngiqala nge-laptop. It is up to that individual ukuthi uzogrowa kanjani in terms of music, in terms of investing on equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But most people, they are more of fans of music than being DJs themselves. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you say.
And it's also happening even among the production sides as well. Yeah, about producers, you find DJs who are not really producers, young thought. And then umuntu othola ukuthi uyi-producer naye ugcine sebesezibuza ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi uNdo-C sekuyaproducer manje uNdo-C and thina simazi as a DJ. So it also goes in both ways ukuthi we always have fans of specific things abafuna ukufola under a specific place.
Yeah. I noticed speaking of production and DJs, like a lot of DJs nowadays have gone into production. Like a major number of DJs have gone into production. I've always wondered why people chose that route. But
okay, some people have been khona abantu abacabanga ukuthi if ngiyi-producer, maybe I'm gonna have a hit track and then I'm gonna get bookings.
Yeah.
You need to understand, mngani wami. Their followers, their music lovers. Followers can tell ukuthi okay, uNdo-C akayona producer, obviously he's working with whoever, it's fine. But sometimes to be a producer doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi you actually have to sit down and program music. Ngahlala mina nawe Ndo-C uthole ukuthi I am a good programmer, and then when abese uyangitshela ukuthi this is what you want, this is what you don't want, and then you get me.
Yeah.
So a lot of DJs, I believe, they're going into production because maybe they want, to push themselves and gain a bigger scale of a market than just being DJs alone. Some maybe they're doing it for gigs. I wouldn't know the actual reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just assuming now, maybe, that's why.
I get you. How was Cape Town for you? Like, this is the second time you've been down here, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna come here more often. Sometimes you learn a lot by visiting different places musically. You get to understand the culture, you get to understand the people, you get to learn and see some possibilities of you growing as an artist, growing as a DJ or producer, So Cape Town has been great for me. Now I just love the vibe and ukushintsha isini nje kancane mfethu.
Yeah.
Ukugezwana ulwandle, mfethu like because iJozi bese sesistuck ekhoneni eliyi-1 sesiyazi ukuthi masuka lana siza lana nama line up, it's the same thing we are talking about. Nama line up it consists of your friends only, it's one of those things. So it's athi ngishawa umoya nje ngiyobona ezinye indawo kancane.
Alright. And let's talk spinners now. Obviously, now as a DJ, you've got your people that spin and they get you to dance left, right, and center. I know you're going to mention Linda Waseval as one of them.
Yeah.
And like, who else is out there, Cape Town, Joburg, that are killing it for you?
Okay, I am a grown-ass nigga, manje.
Yeah.
DJ mina, I don't just view the music side only. I also view the personality of the person and his responsibilities. Mina ngqanywa ama-Krotmani ashaya inamba othola ukuthi they are so focused on their family, they are so focused on their music. Yangithola. Like uthola ukuthi Ndo-C Ndo-C is a good guy, he's a good DJ, he's responsible and stuff. Like I my inspiration from spinners, it grows. It grows. So in terms of names, okay, obviously Ulinda Wasevali, he's dope. There's a legend, Mr. Nevers, he's very dope.
It's a long one.
It's a long one. About SK Dog, all of these guys, they're those guys, they're they do it for me.
Yeah.
I understand. They do it for me, and they have, their own things happening. If we at Depeni, Snabo and Pimabaso, he's very dope. The owner of YT Pub, who Master Speaks, is very dope. If Shisanya Mashandis, there are guys who are doing their own jazzy stuff, lounges, I was doing stuff. These guys, I just look at the personality when I look at them doing their own thing, and that, is such an inspiration for me. Uguti, they are not too dependent in terms of abanye abantu outside. Bayakwazi ukuzenzela into yabo and just get happy, bayijabulise, as people and as DJs, I mean. Yeah, bro.
Do you see yourself playing overseas? And if so, which festivals that have caught your eyes?
Mara, that's obvious. No, yes. Like, my biggest dream is to play on one of those all-day I dream parties.
Yeah,
that's like my fucking biggest dream.
Yeah,
all day I dream. I wish to play there. Mostly it's the Russian guys, the Russian community guys. It's my biggest dream to actually play in Russia.
Yeah.
And also London. There's some nice parties there, but for me, it's the Anjuna Deep guys, the all day I dream. I just like something different. I mean, something unique. Because, when I attend an event, I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy myself. I look at those guys, I study those guys in Bogue and I'm sponsors, I mean, look at the Defected guys.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Uguti Heineken can sponsor a record label with it? Exactly. Defected is sponsored by Heineken, and the Heineken official sponsor UEFA, and Defected and my parties are called as a record labels, but Lalaguma parties are my UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
If you look at the All Day I Dream guys, sponsored by Flight Emirates, those things. That's how you run a label these days.
Yeah.
You don't just run a label depending on my sales, depending on support. You need to find ways of creating income, because ugrani label kufana nograni business nganam. Abantu abazi, you take out some money, ihambi ngabuyi.
Yeah.
People are ignorant. Ugrani label these days, you pay and then you don't get paid. There's it's a miracle for a label is break even for our sales.
Yeah.
It's like a miracle. So even when I submit my music to a label, ngizobe ngishawe surprise mabethi bazonginikeza royalty statement, ngizobuza ukuthi hey kanti kunemali ekhona lana, because I know reality ukuthi kwenzakalani.
Yeah. Sales are bad. So going back to your question, most definitely the Russian guys, Anjuna Deep, even in Japan, I just love that melodic sound. I just want to explore more. Yeah. Now, speaking of digital sales being on an all-time low, and vinyl is picking up in a sense, like it's been picking up.
It is, yeah.
That is going to take away a lot of sales from the digital. Okay, actually it might not, but it is going to take a certain portion of the sales off. Mara, the amount of people buying vinyl is not that much to say. If all producers went
to press,
it would push. In essence, when in your case now, if you're going to be pressing a lot of your stuff, you're pressing in terms of selling for revenue purposes, or you're selling just, let's get my stuff out there and on wax?
Okay, let's be honest. Like I said before, revenue purposes. I once had a conversation at Jersey. Ngambuza ngathi yazi your records they always selling, so what he's not making a cent.
Yeah.
But all he knows ukuthi imali that they used as a jazz record company iyabuya in terms of our sales.
Okay.
So basically it's the love for wax, but in terms of revenue, no. So as long as I can break even from my sales, then I'll continue pressing. Because as long as kuzobuya imali lena, I think it's 7 presser. That's it for me now. In terms of our sales, music doesn't sell. You need to find a way of creating income from music. Music doesn't sell. This looks nice. I mean, look at this cover. The cover alone, artwork, it's expensive. Now imagine if we had to talk to an artist, explain ukuthi cost emalini ukwenza lento. Alone there was someone obekumela design the lento who got paid, right? And then a printing company printed this whole thing, kumele ibhadale,
of course,
right? And then it distributor ezofaka music all over the world kumele ibhadale, right? I-plate leli alone khona umuntu obhadalile, leli phepha liyi-1, someone got paid. And then for ukuthi iyohlala kwi-Juno kweniyithenga, I have to pay Juno,
of course.
Now tell me ukuthi imali ke revenue,
it's being cut into pieces.
That's why it's important for up and coming producers to learn the music business, even if ungezukuya esikoleni, just to go to YouTube and download videos and understand ukuthi okay, this is what's actually happening in terms of our sales, in terms of, you know, revenue and stuff.
Have you guys considered streaming vinyl lifestyle on a consistent basis? For instance, like in Joburg lockdown, a whole lot of streaming services got a hike in revenue, and I was looking at the one Yaga Shimza. I think it's on Channel O, and like there's a bunch of shows that started coming up whereby they gave DJs the platform to say you can stream your service via a certain specific channel, and a lot of people ended up on Facebook and YouTube. Like, has vinyl lifestyle ever considered going? Because I know you guys used to do videos.
We used to do videos. Like I said, we had a bit of some challenges in terms of business. Lockdown is kawathe sonke, you know.
Yeah.
But let's just say in the near future we are planning on doing, you know, focusing on more streaming, and yeah, like in the near future that's when we want to focus more on streaming.
Okay. Yeah. In terms of vinyl lifestyle being a brand on its own, the shop itself, are you guys looking at expanding in terms of going franchise wise, maybe having a couple of branches based at Jersey, Cape Town, Durban, maybe?
That was the initial plan, but then like I said, Maria Enda, when you just go and you study that place, you know.
Yeah.
Cape Town manje ngiyayibuka Cape Town ngiyayistudisha ukuthi is there a possibility for opening a shop lana, and if i-shop iyavula lana, in terms of i-database bangaki abantu abazothenga music. But then let's be honest, vinyl lifestyle is not really a record shop. Vinyl lifestyle is more of a concept store that is focused on vinyls. That's why uthola sekuyibar manje sekuyaphuzwa and stuff. Yabona uthola kuyagawulwa. If wena Ndo-C ufuna ukwenza i-cookouts, maybe vinyl lifestyle or different concepts, yabona. It's more of a concept store. So these days to open a record shop, it's a good idea, but it will depend on your location. And then it's best to focus more on different concepts. You cannot stick to one idea, young thought.
Yeah.
Because a record shop needs to be broad. Vinyl lifestyle is more focused on house music.
Yeah.
Than any, because our biggest clientele is house. Yeah.
Who's your competition at yours in terms of revenue for vinyls now? I know Mt's was selling vinyls at some stage.
No, he is. He's got a nice record shop at Candy Square.
Yeah.
Competition tina brawa masnayo, because now we are different from everyone, and you've seen it now.
Yeah.
Like for example, if we're gonna host, let's say Jasmine from Deep Inspiration show, if host Jasmine usuke Jermaine uzobeza launch album lakhe or vinyl lakhe, that's a different concept, like I told you.
Yeah.
So most of my shops, they do not have my concepts, like I said, which we are a concept store. So we think of different content, we think of different concepts, and then that's when we decide we want to focus on that idea. So in terms of competition, we don't have competition at all.
You don't have competition. All right. So in terms of like the one big thing that I haven't understood very well is the industry as at Jersey, how you get, without having to go into deep names, there's people that get to actually host their own events at Jersey, and they get to couple with brands. Like, how is it that you guys haven't been picked up to that extent to which you're sitting there up top with the rest of the people that get picked up by brands? Like, is it a matter of having managers, or
what do you mean picked up by brands? Do you mean to be similar to Deep Town Josie or something like that?
Something of that nature. In that
like,
sense,
I mean, why is vinyl lifestyle on that, not on that level?
Yeah, like look at Transmix Soul. Transmix Soul hosts those one-man shows, and then he invites friends. Then you've got Is it a part X that was happening at yours?
Yeah.
There was a part X, and then you got Stay True from a Valentine's. You get what I mean? Like, you guys have been doing great work for a very long time, and in a unique ngoba you're playing vinyls and you're doing vinyls, which some people said it was an art form that is dying out, and yet here it is. It's still alive and it's still existing. A vinyl lifestyle.
Yeah, I said earlier on, in terms of competition, we don't have competition, and sinasthanda my concepts is angafan. For example, I'm holding this cup ebhalwe DJ Ndo-C, right?
Yeah.
And ilobhia engophuzayo kule cup uthena singawuvezi kwi-video because we are promoting brands that don't associate themselves with us.
Correct.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
How about ukuthi uNdo-C create ibhia yakhe, Ndo-C beer or something, senze event isifaka ama-flyer ke-beer kaNdo-C. We think of different concepts. Asifuni thina ukwenza something already abanye abantu abayenzayo, you know.
Yeah.
Mangithi ngibona i-flyer ngibona kune-sponsor senye i-brand. How about kube ne-vinyl lifestyle beer?
Okay.
Mawungena ne-vinyl lifestyle si-sponsorisha thina. Like I said, even with DJs earlier on, it's best to do everything on your own.
Yeah.
Awuzukuba na-stress. You won't even have to worry ukuthi bani bacabangani benzani nani. Uzenzela wena into yakho because uyazi egcineni ukuthi angekho umuntu ozokutshela ukuthi mfethu, you know, you guys inlele or kanjani, you know. Uyazi ukuthi wena this is your own thing, this is your own content. You're not too relied or rely, like you don't rely on other people, yabo.
Yeah.
So yeah, ngcono uzenzele nje, you know, bro wami, like, because lama events okhuluma ngawo, they sponsored by different alcoholic brands, and these brands they associate themselves with certain people, yabo.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do everything on your own.
Okay. Are we looking at an album soon?
Yeah, by winter next year I'll be done. I'm busy working on a lot of stuff.
Are we looking at melodic stuff, deep house stuff, electronic?
I believe with an album must express you as a person.
Okay.
You know, like I asked you a question, so what do you think of the Charles Webster album? You know.
Yeah.
Because I was fascinated by the fact that Charles Webster has never escaped his winning formula. He's Charles Webster. Yeah. So in terms of the album, I'll just express myself on the melodic and then the deep side, and maybe something a bit loungy. Yeah, but when I released my first album, it was more on the tribal Afro house type of a vibe. So ngizobona ukuthi kwenzakala.
Which way you're leading? Oh, Mr. Blanket, is he producing?
Mr. Blanket is the first guy who recruited me. So every time mangiye soul candy ngiyofunda music, behleze ethi ngishiya demo njalo nje, every day ngishiya demo. So bengiyesikele ngifike ngishiya demo kuyena uBlanket athi hayi ziyasha, you know, and mina I'm like, hayi le out idlala ngami, you know.
Yeah.
Hayi ziyasha, and then he dropped like a compilation yakhe with my tracks, and then he had this concept yokuthi when someone buys a record ayifake i-CD add a price for a record, yangithola.
Yeah.
That those are different skills of selling.
Yeah.
So ngaqala kanjalo ukudayisa music wami, you know, wenza i-compilation up until ngadrop i-album under i-vinyl joint. Yeah, that's when Blanket is not like a producer, he's more of a DJ who can identify talent.
A relationship yakho naye, it started out just like that.
It started off like that, like bengidlula nje mina ngifike ngithenga ama-records ethi angishiya demo up until ngaze ngamjwayela, so every time ngiyahamba ngiza eshop ngizobloma.
Yeah. Up until you guys decided you're going into business together, and then all right.
Yeah.
What do we see in the next, let's say, 4 years from UMNGOMEZULU? Like, what should we expect within the next 4 years from you? Besides the album that's dropping next year winter, like in terms of how far are you pushing? What should we expect within the next 5 years?
I'm just hoping to have a bigger scale of followers, not mainly locally, but on the international side as well. But mina ngithanda ukwenza into ehlukile, like everything I do is it's unique from, you know, a lot of people. So In terms of seeing myself in 4 years' time, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm gonna be more focused on my music, on business, and learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for December?
I'm dropping Elon 3 a.m. on Twitter Street.
Okay.
It's coming out on the Afro Move. It's coming out next week.
And in terms of gigs, like where you playing, where should people find you during December?
Okay, so far December ngisathola ama-gigs awu-3. Eyi-1 ngizobe nginabo-Cadillac Cats, nabo-Below Jazz, Sunday Kagiso.
Okay.
Yeah, and then people can just follow me on my social media. It's UMNGOMEZULU.
All right. No, I'll have the links to my social media as well. Go on the bottom of the link. Yeah. Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence, Ekapa.
Bonga mina,
We
baba.
hope to see you. Basically, what I'll do is every time you come down, we'll sit down and we'll chat and hear what's new, what's happening, what you're doing going forward.
Yeah.
All right, Mnua. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. It's been, wow, #pa. Woo.